Erika Donalds. First is the chair of the America First Policy Institute Center for Education Opportunity. Welcome, Erika. Again, we have the president possibly live, so let's just try to get through this, and then we'll probably go to that event. More choice would be, what the administration's saying, what you're saying. I guess critics say, all right, no, they're just trying to push they're using that essentially as a cover to push their political agenda. How would you respond?
Well, that's actually ridiculous. President Trump promised the American people that he would return power to parents. And that's what the root of the parents' rights movement is about. Getting parents in the driver's seat. We know that the Department of Education at the federal level has certainly failed us. The NAEP scores continue to show us that, as last week we saw just a third of our 8th graders in America are reading and doing math proficiently on grade level. What President Trump wants to do, and what he got elected to do, was put the power and ultimately the funding in the hands of parents to decide the best education environment for their children. And we think that is what's going to help children thrive academically.
Okay, so the point I was making comes from something like this. This is from Education Week, where they talk about Title IX, school choice, quote unquote, indoctrination, and how the president took on schools. And week number 2 of his administration, education policy experts seeing signs from these early actions that the second Trump administration is aggressively using the Education Department to advance its agenda, at least until it moves to fulfill a campaign pledge and dismantle it. Is that still expected, by the way, just getting rid of the Department of Education?
Oh, it absolutely is. President Trump said so in the school choice roundtable I attended last week at the White House, where he spent about an hour with myself, governors who have enacted school choice in their states, and other grassroots leaders. And he reiterated not only his support for the Education Choice for Children Act, which creates a federal tax credit for school choice, but also, and most importantly, returning education to the states. It has been a pillar of both his campaign and his promises to the American people.
Right, you would know about that from Florida, right? You're in Florida, and that's the policies there. State would probably be more in line with what you want to see nationally, and you want to see more power in states like Florida. So what would you point to, you mentioned test scores already, as a sign of success in terms of execution in Florida, that's tangible, that you want to see expand around the country?
Sure. Well, we have universal school choice now in Florida, and over 500,000 students are enrolled in our education scholarship program as of this year. And we don't even have enough private school seats to accommodate all the parents who want to take advantage of school choice. About 60% of parents say that last year they looked for a new school for their child outside of their zone school. And when polled, school choice and universal school choice actually polls well with all sides of the aisle. 67% of Democrats and over 70% of Republicans support school choice. We want to give parents what they're looking for, and that is the options that they need. And as I know, as a mom and as a school board member, parents want to be in the driver's seat. We haven't allowed them that so far.
Okay, last thing. I saw one study that said that some of these newer school choice programs, unlike what we saw earlier when vouchers first came in and that kind of thing, were benefiting wealthier families more than working class or people that are lower on the income scale. What would you say to that?
Well, that's why it's so important that these options are universal. When there are more consumers, there are more options, and it actually increases access and quality for everyone. There have been lots of school choice programs targeted at lower income students across our country, and it really hasn't provided the high level of quality in those school choice options that we would like to see. Universal choice is the way to bring the free market competition and innovation that we would like to see in education going forward.
Appreciate you sharing your views, Erika Donalds, on that side of it. Now,